All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
How are everyone's doing today?
Doing good. Good evening, Mr. Ray.
Good evening. Is that Jacob?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Good day, sir. How you doing?
Well,
That's
very
good.
good.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
All right. Okay. So I'm just going over your names again. If you're just signing on, or is this your first time, just remember to have your first and last name. It wasn't until I was doing attendance later that I see I have a few people that have the same names. So please make sure that you just have your last name. I don't have to go through who has the same names, but there are a few Daniels and Johnnies and Guadalupe and different names, a few names that were the same. And so please have your last name written there, so that and even still, if your first name, let's say, is David, and your second name is Jacob, but you go by Jacob, on the roster it says David, so it really, I have to go digging to find your name. So if you are going by your second name, if you're normally called by your second name, please write your first name instead on the screen until I start to get to know you. Once I get to know everyone and associate the face with the name, it'll be easier then. But right now it's pretty difficult trying to remember who's who. And so please make sure you have your first name and at least your last initial. If you don't want your last name there, just at least have your last initial, so that when I have those duplicate first names, I can differentiate between who is who. And for one of the names, I have 3 Daniels. So if you're a Daniel, please have your last initial or your last name there as well. All right. And while I'm saying it, one of the Daniels was not here on Tuesday. So if you were one of the Daniels, if you could let me know that, because I had 2 Daniels on my list, but I only had one of your last name, Naranjo. I only had your last name. So I see the other Daniels here now. So if you guys could just let me know.
It's the same Daniel that was there.
Say that again.
It was me last on Tuesday under Erica Bohorquez. That was my wife's computer I had to use.
Oh, can you say it again? You was under Erica?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Because I was looking, who is Erica? I couldn't find her on the list.
Yeah, it's me. It's Daniel Bohorquez, but next time I log in, I'll put Bohorquez and
it's a B,
no
you said,
confusion.
Daniel Bohorquez?
Yeah, B as
Okay.
in boy,
All right.
OJORQUEZ.
Okay, thank you so much. I was really wondering who. So all 3 Daniels were there then?
Yes. Daniel Calzada, I was here last Tuesday.
Okay, perfect. I just need to fix that in the roster. All right, thank you guys so much, and thank you, Daniel B, for fixing that, because I was just about to ask who is Erica.
No problem.
Okay, thank you so much for that. All right, so just remember, everyone else, I do have other names that were duplicates as well. So if you could just have your last name there. And then, as I said before, some of you are going by your middle name, which most people might call you by, but on the roster, it doesn't have that. It has your first name. So if you can make sure you have your first name there. Okay, so let me just finish writing down everyone that's here. I see that I might have some new people in today as well. Is it Latavia? Yeah, okay. And I don't think you were here on Tuesday, right?
This is my first time.
Okay. I see Carlos, you're here. Welcome, Carlos, again.
Hi, Mr. Ray.
Mr. Ray.
And Clemente. And Jacob, I already spoke.
Darling, they should be.
Writing your name now,
change the
Veronica.
name.
I think I had 2 Veronicas.
can I-
Veronica, what's just your last initial?
Oliva, Veronica, Oliva.
I think I can rename it.
Olivia. Okay, thank you. Okay, then I have Ray. And welcome, Ray. And Maceo, welcome back again.
Okay, I can change it.
And Justine Moreno. And Daniel C.
Because I see some people, they change their own.
Jimenez. And And then Norma. Norma, if you can let me know your last initial or name, whichever one.
M-E-Z-A.
Say that one more time. I had two people talking.
Meza, M-E-Z-A.
Okay, thank you very much. Leonora and Susanna. Did I have two Susannas?
I just click on the technology. I just click on, say, okay. You guys see people there.
And then William. William and Salvador. Dorcas and George. Okay, so welcome again, everyone. I know I have some more people coming in as we go. Some have stated that they may not be able to make it, but every so often, if someone comes in and I let them in, I will have to stop just to write down their names. And that's only because, well, I have to check to see if they updated it, but Zoom had stopped the ability to save the names of everyone who came in because of security issues. You might have heard it on the news. So I have to write down your names now, whereas before I could just download it. So unless they change that option, which I haven't seen, every time someone comes in, you might just see me stop or hear me stop. And that's just to write their name down. As just I had to do just now. All right, so how many of you guys were able to work on the workbook on the whole numbers? Anyone was able to do that? Okay, great. Any questions from there? Any questions, any problems, any concerns? If not, we'll go right on. But if you understood everything, there are no issues, then we can move on. So I'll just give that opportunity now if you wanted to go over any of those questions.
Number 14.
Number 14 from the workbook, right?
Yeah, with the workbook.
Okay, number 14 in the workbook. So if you have your workbook, just take that out and number 14. Okay, so you're talking about the one that says what score has the highest frequency?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so frequency just means how many times it may happen. So let's say I shoot a basketball 5 times and someone else shoots it 15. The one that has the highest frequency is the one that says 15 because it was frequent. And so that's what it's referring to. So when you look there, you're looking at the score ranges. And if you look at the table above, the score ranges 100 to 119. How many were able to get between that? How many people got between 100 and 119 in their bowling scores?
18.
Okay, so let me just go over it from the beginning. So just in case, I was assuming everyone knew where we were too. So let me just do it from the start. This question here says the top part of the question. It's a 3-part question. It says the Northside Bowling Club recorded its nightly scores in the table below. The frequency is the number of scores falling within the corresponding range. Then they show you the bowling scores, and you have one column that says the score, and the score is in a range. So the first row has 100 to 119. That's the bowling score. The second one has 120 to 139, and it goes right down to the last one where you see 180 to 199. So that's the bowling score. I've scored in there one time when I was younger. I don't know if I could do that now, but the frequency just means how many people. So let's say we all went on a little bowling trip, and then I'm just making a tally to see how many people are getting within these ranges. So those who scored between 100 and 119, it was 3 people. Instead of saying 3 people, we use a generic term, and that's frequency. And frequency just means how many people are falling in that category. So what we're looking for, we're going to compare the highest frequency and then attach it to the range. So what is the highest number in the frequency?
9.
9. And which range would that be?
160, 179.
Right, 160 to 179. And which letter would that be in the multiple choice?
C.
C. And that's the answer for that one, C. Okay, any other questions? And did that help?
Yeah, it did. It did. I
All
got
right.
it.
Okay, great. Any other questions from the workbook?
Darling, can you make the air condition?
Dorcas, did you have one? Okay, maybe you're just talking to someone else in your house. All right, so it sounds like you guys had no real troubles with that, and that's good. Most of it was just trying to make sure you understood numbers and how to associate them with tables. And so if there are no other questions from there, we'll move on. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the information from the student book. As the student book doesn't have as many questions, we want to leave that for you. And if you are new, you should have two books. One is your student book, and the other is the workbook. The student book is the book that has the blue title on the left corner of the cover of the book. And the workbook has the green. That's not it. Hold on real fast. Just trying to open up my math. Here it is, Unit 1. All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue with the next one. Remember, you can get yourself a TI-30XS multi-view calculator. You do not need it yet. We will go over how to use it soon. And it can be found on page, in Roman numerals, page XII. That represents 12 in Roman numerals. And this is the calculator. Costs about $15 at Target and Walmart. You can buy it for about $15 on Amazon as well. You don't need it right this minute, but in about 2 or so weeks, we will start to get into how to use the calculator, and you'll see how efficient it is if you know how to use it. All right, and just bear with me again. I have someone sending me an email, more than likely asking how to get in. All right, so just hold on. I just need to reply to someone. They can't get into the room. And do one more check. I'm just going to look and remind just to see if anyone else is writing me there. And I have 3 people writing me. All right, so let me just see this, and I might be going back and forth. Some people are having just a little bit of difficulties joining the class. Okay, so and one more. All right, perfect. And you guys still see my calculator here, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, so once again, that's the calculator. And if you peruse through that part of your book, you can learn it before I even get there. And you can play around with the different instructions that are on this page. Greatly assist you. Here's the second part of it. It'll show you how to do fractions and mixed numbers. You learn more if you do it yourself, and whatever you don't remember or don't understand, when we get there, we'll clarify any issues. Okay, so let's go to removing from whole numbers, and I'm gonna turn this real soon, just bear with me. All right, so we're going into the 4 operations. Now, there are 4 basic operations in math. There are others, and as we go up into algebra, you will learn some more. But at this level, we're not going to go to algebra, so when you go to HSE course and we go deeper into algebra, you'll learn about other operations. I will cover the 2 more operations in this section. I decided that I was going to cover it as I think it's important to know. All right, so you can follow along in the book. In the book, this is page
4.
Say that again, sorry.
4.
4, thank you. I had
Page
so much
6.
stuff up I
Page
couldn't find
6.
it. All right, so
6.
that's page.
It's
6.
6, no? Yes.
6, no?
Yeah, it's
I don't
page-
know. Okay, yeah, page 4. It's page 4. We're in the student book.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and practice some of these today. And if you guys are really good, that would be great. We could get through it pretty fast. So let's start with the 4 basic operations. They are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Just to kind of recap on that, the opposite of addition is subtraction, right? These 2 are opposites of each other, or inverse we call them. And then we have multiplication and division, and these are opposites of each other, or inverses, as we call them. But those are the four basic operations. And if any of you have tried the GED test already, you will know that there are parts where you have to work out stuff without a calculator. And so that means you want to have this mastered, how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide numbers without a calculator. Now, there's some other terms that you want to know. If you hear the word sum or total, that means you are adding. So that's important information. Just remember, do not write on the book because you have to return those books. So if you want this information, the key information, if you don't own the book, put it in a notebook. You can put a little asterisk next to it. But when you do get to algebra, you will see these terminologies in your problem solving. And you hear them say something like sum, or you read in a question that says find the sum. If they do that or say find the total, it's talking about addition. If you see the word difference in a question or hear it in a verbal statement, they're talking about subtraction between two quantities. So if you hear the difference of two numbers, then you're going to be subtracting. The other terminology that you need to know, the other term is product. Now the product is the result when you multiply numbers together. And so when you hear the word product, you think multiplication. Now the last one, division. Division is the one that has multiple terms. And those terms are the dividend, the quotient, and the divisor. And we're going to go over that in a moment. And then we get to factors later. For now, what we're going to do is just practice adding. Now, I'm assuming that most of you guys have a general idea of how to add numbers. And so I'm going to put up a list of numbers on the screen. I'm going to come from that for now. And we're going to just see how you guys do. And if we need to spend a little bit more time on there, we shall. And I'll start off with the first one. Where's my pen? Once I find my pen. Oh, here it is. All right, so the first number we're going to add together is going to be a 3-digit number. So let's try it. I'm just making it up as I go. And what's happening? All right, my pen wasn't working. All right, now it's working. So we have addition, right? So we're going to learn to add numbers. And what we're going to practice on is just 382 plus 157. Actually, I'm going to change it to 59. All right, so who remembers? How do we add numbers vertically?
Start from the right side.
Yeah, you start from the right side, and you're going to add each column. Now, some of you might be able to do this in your head, but if you still want to learn the concept for when you have to add bigger numbers, let's say you had 35,832 plus 51,275, right? That's going to be a little bit harder to do in your head. So let's go ahead over the process. We're going to add column by column. And when you go over a surplus, and that surplus is 10, you will carry the digit, the tens place digit. Remember, this is the ones place. This right here is the tens place. And the last column is the hundreds place. So keep that in mind as we go through this. All right, so the first thing we do is add the first column, 2 plus 9. And what's 2 plus 9?
11.
11. Now, we're not going to write 11 there. What we're going to do, we're just going to carry part of it down, and that's just the 1. So the 2 plus 9 is 11. We bring down the 1 from the ones place. We carry the 1 from the tens place onto the second column. And I'm just going to change that to a different color so it stands out. Then what do we do once we carry that?
Add it.
Got it.
Okay, how do we add it? 1 plus 8 or 18 plus 5?
1 plus 8.
Plus 5, and then whatever.
8 plus 5.
8 plus 5. And what would that give us?
13.
Plus 1.
That would give us,
6.
13.
okay, I heard different numbers there. So 8 plus 1 is how much?
14.
14.
Okay, so we get 9 plus 5, and that's going to give us 14.
14.
Then we take the 1 from that 14, and where do we take it?
Put it up in a 3.
We put it up here on the top, above
Carry
the
over.
3. And I wanted to keep the colors same. And then what do we do to add that last column?
5.
Right, that's going to be 5, right? We just say 3 plus 1
Plus 1.
plus the additional 1 that we carried. And I'm just writing down someone who just came in. Welcome, Marisol. And that's going to be 5, right? So that answer would be 500.
141.
Okay, so everyone remembers that? Was that pretty straightforward?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, should we do some more, or do you guys think you have that down? Let's do another one, and let's see what answers you get all by yourselves. Let me see, any numbers nearby? Let's do 517 plus 263. All right, go ahead and work that out, and let's see what answers we get. Remember the steps to adding.
780.
180.
Okay, I hear 780, multiple 780s, right? And so that's 780, yep. So we say 7 plus 3 is 10. We carry the 1 on top. And let me just let in Andres. We carry the 1 on top, and then what do we do with that second column?
Add.
Add everything, right? So it's the 1 that we carry, the 1 that's there, plus that 6. How much is that altogether?
8.
8. And then we have 5 plus 2, which is
7.
7. So 780. All right, let's up the ante a bit because you guys are going to have to sometimes deal with bigger numbers. Let's add this to, and I'm making it up as I go. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and, oops, come on. Let's go ahead and add that up. This pen is acting up.
3942.
3942.
Okay, 3942, am I hearing?
3,942.
Okay, I see. 3,582, I think I heard.
9.
And it sounded pretty unanimous, the similar number at least that I thought I heard. And I see some writing, so I'll just wait a bit to see if everybody gets that same number.
Yes,
3,942.
3,942 is what I'm hearing.
I got $3,942.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
942.
All right, so let's go ahead and add it. Looks like a good bit of you guys have finished writing. So remember, you're adding column by column. So 7 plus 5 is 12. We carry the 1. That 5 and the 1 together make
14.
Okay, all together we got 6 plus 8, which is 14. Carry the 1 again.
9.
Right, we have 3 plus 6, that gives us 9.
9.
And
3.
1 plus 2 will give us
3.
3. So we have 3,942. All right, so that looks pretty straightforward. Let's just throw in one more doozy here. You normally don't have to do this, but it is always good to know. Let's say you have 213 plus 108 plus let's make it 408, and then 136. All right. How about this one? What would this equal?
Oh, wait. 214.
757.
757.
Okay, here's 757.
757.
757.
757.
All right, that sounds almost unanimous now.
Yeah, that's what I got on.
All right, so let's go over this one again. So you're going to add the whole column. So the 3 plus 8 plus the 6. And what would that give us if we added 3 plus 8 plus 6?
17.
Right, that would be 17, and we carry the 1 on top. And then we're adding that whole column there. So 1 plus 1 plus 0 plus 3 would give us
5.
5. And we don't carry anything there, so we just add that last column. 2 plus 4 plus 1 will give us, say it one more time.
7.
7. All right, so we get 757. All right, so like I said, addition's pretty straightforward. And any questions, though, just to make sure that no one has any problems with the addition?
No.
No.
All right. Okay, so now we're moving on to subtraction. And with subtraction, I believe this should be a review, but I know subtraction can throw some doozies as well with the carrying aspect. So let's just see what we remember and we'll make up some numbers here. So let's say we had 567 subtract 199. Okay, just go over this one. Can we subtract 9 from, when we subtract, we do something similar. We're going to subtract by columns. If you learned another way, that's fine. We're going to go with the traditional US way. So if you did learn different methods, there are other methods out there. But we're just going to go over one method, the method that is traditionally taught in the US system. So how would you
368.
subtract that first column? 7 subtract 9. Does anyone remember?
We have to borrow because the top number is smaller than the bottom.
Right. So we're going to have to borrow from that 6, right? And what do we do
Yes,
once we borrow?
You make it a 5.
it's gonna become a 5.
And then we do what with the 1?
Remove 1.
Carry it to the 7.
Carry it to the 7. Now, does that become 8?
1.
No, 17.
No.
17. It becomes 17. All right. So does that become 17 subtract 9? And what's
It's
17
8.
subtract 9?
8.
8. All right. And then we got another problem here. Have 5 subtract 9. So what would I have to do here?
We have to borrow again.
You have to borrow again.
Borrow again. Right. And we're borrowing from the other 5.
5
With what?
becomes a 4.
With a 4. And then what do we do?
And then
Carry the
15.
1.
5.
We carry the
Make
1,
it a
and when we carry
15.
that 1, what does it become?
15.
Okay, it becomes 15. We carry that 1, and we have 15 now. Subtract
From 9 is 6.
15 subtract 9, which would be
6.
6.
oh, I meant to change the color. And then 4 subtract 1, which is
3.
3.
368.
368. All right, so that's a recap. Now, you really want to master that because when we get to the multiplication and division, you're going to have to be adding and subtracting within there as well. So 567 subtract 199, you get 368. Any questions with what we just did there?
No.
All right, you guys are sharp. Let's see how, if we can get all the same answer for the one that I create in my head as I go. Let's try, I don't know, 176 minus 100. This is easy. What? Nah, let's change it. 476. No,
It's
that's
easy for you.
1,000. Well, I was gonna have two numbers with a 100, so I think that would have came out easier.
Oh.
So 1,476 minus 392. Yeah, there we go. So what would that equal? Go ahead, work that out, and let's see if everybody gets the same answer.
Oh,
1084.
1,084.
Man, you guys are fast. 1,084, I'm hearing. They're unanimous, too. I didn't hear it wrong.
It's that brand new TI 30XS. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, you're not supposed to be using the calculator. I hope no
No,
one's
I
using
know.
the calculator, right?
No, we were
No.
working it out.
No.
Somebody's in there
No,
probably
no.
going, yeah, I am. I've got it. All right, so remember, just a recap, though, we're not going to use the calculator for a while. We want to really perfect our arithmetic so that we can work without the calculator. God forbid your calculator dies on the test and you're like, oh no, I can't do anything now. When I was teaching in high school, in a different high school somewhere, I had a student that happened to them. They were on this big test and they said their calculator died in like the first 5 minutes. And they did not know how to do the arithmetic part. So he said he left a lot blank. So we want to make sure that if that ever happened, calculator died, forgot the calculator, we can still do the work. So let's go ahead, just in case someone else did not get this. 6 subtract 2 is going to give us 4. Can we subtract the 9 from the 7?
No.
No, so we borrow from the
4.
4. And when we borrow from the 4, that's going to leave us with
A 3.
3. And we bring the 1 over. Oh, that looks almost the
17.
same right there. 17 subtract 9, which is going to give us
8.
8. And then 3 subtract 3,
0.
0 there, and then we just can bring down the 1. That's 1,084. All right, you guys are so smart that I'm just going to give you an even bigger number. All right, let's say we had, let's say you guys just become millionaires and stuff. And you're just like, you know what, I'm going to spend my money on something. And you have let's say $426,000, $85. And then you're going to subtract, let's say, you're just going to subtract 217,958. How much money would you have left?
I can't see all the numbers. I can't see all the numbers on my screen. I don't know.
Your video, do you see the videos? You might have to click them and drag them.
Oh,
208,147.
Okay, say that again. One more time.
208, 147.
You said 147?
127.
Okay, 127.
8,147.
147.
Okay, I hear
208,000.
208,127. Yes.
those are the two answers that I heard.
200.
Well, the two distinct answers. I heard multiple people say it, but those are the two distinct answers that I heard. And so one of those are correct, and we want to see which one is the correct one.
The first one.
Someone else? All right, so let's go ahead and subtract these. Can I subtract that 8 from the 5?
No.
No, I can't do that. So I'm going to have to borrow from the
8.
8. So let's do that. That will leave me with
Did
7.
Did you say it was 958 at the bottom, the last one?
Yeah, that's supposed to be a 5 if it doesn't look like one. But yeah,
No,
900.
But you're saying the top number for 4 million, you said, and the 217,000.
I said 2 million.
Yes.
No, you didn't.
No? I heard 2 million.
Oh, you know what? I said, imagine you guys are millionaires. That's what I had said.
Oh.
And I said, you could just like spend money like crazy and you just decide.
Okay.
So that's possibly what threw you off. Yeah, I had started off by saying you're millionaires. All right, so let's continue here. What did we just do? Oh, we borrow from the 8, we have 7, and we bring it over to this 5. And what happens in the first column?
7.
7.
All right, 15 subtract 8 is 7. All right, so this is going to be the decision maker because we all have the right digits there except for right here. So what's 7 subtract 5?
2.
2. So we should get 2 there. So that's the correct one if you got the 127. I thought I heard 147. If I didn't, then we could just cross that out. All right, so now we got to say 0 subtract 9. We can't do that. So what do we do?
Borrow from the 6.
Borrow from the 6, and I'm not changing the color. So that becomes, what does that become? 1?
10.
10. Yeah, so 10 subtract 9 actually gives us 1. All right, and so 5 subtract 7, I can't do that. So what do we do?
We
Borrow.
Borrow from the 2, and when I carry it over, what does that become?
15.
15. All right, and so 15 subtract 7?
8.
8. And then 1 subtract 1?
0.
And 4 subtract 2.
2.
All right, you guys have got this. Let me just throw in one more thing just to make sure there's no conceptual error. And did anyone need that? Let me go back just in case somebody was copying. We're going to do one more and then move on to multiplication. Normally in multiplication and division, that's where we slow down a bit. So we'll see if you guys are savvy and we just breeze through that too.
I can't see, I can only see like half of the 8 and 5. I don't, or like
What do you see there?
yeah. Me too.
95, like 217-95. And the bottom.
I mean, like, is there anything blocking it, or does it just stop there?
It just stops there. I just want to make sure there's no more numbers.
After the 8? Where did you see it stop again?
The 8 and the 5.
Right here?
Uh-huh. On top
Yeah,
and
that's
bottom.
down the bottom?
It's not 958, right? It's only 95 at the bottom.
Oh, you don't see the 8 here?
No.
This is your last number?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Because I wasn't getting what you guys are. Well, this part I am, but the other, I'm like,
Right,
I
there's
don't
no-
see another number there.
So,
So
are you on a
I-
computer or a laptop, or, I mean,
My computer, I just don't know why.
is your thing really big? Does it take up the whole screen?
Kind of.
I mean, like nothing else you can see on the screen.
Oh, you guys on the side of the numbers.
Okay, click you guys and pull us over.
Okay.
Did that work?
Can make it smaller.
You can move it to the sides also.
Yeah, you can move it to the side,
Yeah.
or you can even minimize it and shrink it.
Okay, I don't know how to do that. I'll have to figure it out.
Just
When
click
you
on,
click it,
click
you
on it
click
and
and
drag it.
hold.
Okay, I got it.
Okay,
There it is.
All right, perfect.
Thank you.
And I think Dorcas, you had said the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know how to move it.
So you use your mouse and click, but don't let go of it. Click and hold the button
And
and
then-
then drag it.
Oh, I'm not actually using mouse. So let me get my mouse.
Do you have a
James?
touchpad?
James, give me the mouse.
Okay.
You got it? Dorcas?
Almost there. Yes, I'm almost there. I'm trying to plug in my mouse. I wasn't using the mouse.
Oh, okay. Are you on a laptop?
Yes.
Oh, you
Yes.
should have a touch screen pad in at the bottom of your laptop, and you could use that as well.
Okay, so let's see. How does that work?
Okay.
No, I can't even. I
You got
can't
it?
see anything on the screen anymore.
You can't see me at all now.
No, I can see, but I can't see the numbers on the screen anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. I changed that.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, but you can see the whole screen, right?
Yes.
All right. Perfect. All right. Let's try one more. You could possibly do this in your head, but I just want to see what you guys would do when encountered with a number such as this. All right. So go ahead and work that one out.
$413?
Okay. Did you do it in your head?
No.
Okay, you worked it out. Okay. Like I know some people could do this like right in their head. And you said you got 414. I'm hearing from both of you.
414.
414.
Yeah.
Yeah.
413.
413. I got something different.
Oh, you put at 6. I put at 7.
I didn't get that one at all.
Yeah, 414.
414, and I hear 413. And
414.
this one's a little, it could be tricky if you're doing the canceling, so just be mindful. And those who finished, let's throw in another one. Let's say you have 5,008. Subtract 2109. For those who have finished, just try those. These are the ones that can sometimes trip you up. So let's just go through these. So I heard 414 and 413 from those who gave an answer. And if you're finished with that one, try the second one while we're just waiting to make sure. It looks like I see people still writing with the first one. So
2,907. 2,907.
okay, 2,907 for the second one.
James?
Yes.
For the second one, 2,907. And the
Yes.
first one, I'm hearing 414. And
No, I got
28.99.
2,999.
yeah, I'm hearing different numbers. So we got 2899 and it was 2,197.
2899.
2,901.
2,901. All right. So anyone else?
2,899.
2,999.
2,999.
2,899.
2,000. Okay, that's the same one that was said at
Yeah.
2,899. All right.
2,901.
Oh, wait, 2000. Okay, yeah, I have that one already.
That was my mistake. I put 1 instead of 9.
Oh, okay. So you said 1 instead of 9. So you're
Yeah.
gonna do yours over.
Okay, I don't put on. I don't. That cross it. I don't move it off.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so
2889.
we got a variety one on the second one, and this one here we had just 2, 400. Come on, Pan. We have 414 and 413. Okay,
414.
let's go over the first one. And one of those two are correct for the 414 or 413. So can we subtract the 6 from the 0?
No,
No. Okay, let's borrow. Can we borrow from that 0?
no.
Okay, what do we do?
Go to the next one.
Can we borrow from the next 0?
No.
Okay, what do we do?
Borrow from the 1.
Take a 1.
So we borrow from this 1. Let me change the color for this one. We're going to borrow from the 1. And once we do that, we're left with 0, basically. But now what do we do?
Put the 10. Put the 1 on the 0 on the first 0.
Right?
And then cross
what?
it out. Cross
Okay.
it out. And
I move it again to the next 0.
Okay, like that?
Yes.
Now what?
Keep moving it.
Okay, we're going to keep borrowing and moving. So we're going to
Yes.
So we got to 8.
9, and then 10. Now that we have those, what can we do?
Then we stop subtracting.
Subtract.
Subtracting, right? 10 subtract 6 is
4.
4. 9 subtract 8,
1.
1.
1. And 9 subtract 5,
4.
4.
4. So if you had said 414, that was the correct answer.
Salud.
Bless you.
All right. And bless you, yes. All right, let's try this second one. This one here, yeah, we got a smorgasbord there. And we're going to see
have a
which
question.
one is the correct one there. Any changes since then?
No, it's 2999.
Okay, 2999. So
No, it's
28.90.
28.99.
28.99.
Any others?
Oh,
So
let me
this
see.
one's still holding out. This one's still holding out. Anyone else still holding out? 2901. Is that going now?
28.99.
2899. Okay. We're starting to narrow it down. All right, let's go ahead. And it's fine. I mean, we want to get out these or any little problems that we're having within here. So let's start with the first one. And I put the zeros normally throw people off. That's why I wanted to end it with these zeros. Let's start with the first column. 8 subtract 9. Can we do that?
No.
No, right? We can't subtract 9 from 8 yet. We're going to learn about that later. But we can't subtract 9 from 8. So what do we do?
Borrow all the way from the 5.
Borrow.
Right, we're going to have to skip all those zeros and borrow from the
5.
5.
Yeah, it's 8. Yeah, 2, 8,
Sorry.
9, 9.
All right, borrow from the 5. And what would that leave us with?
4.
4? Hold
Yeah,
on.
2, 8, 9, 9.
All right, there we go. 4, and then
0.
we carry the
The 1
1.
to
We do the same thing we did before with the 1,000. So we're going to borrow now from the
The 10.
10.
10, and that now becomes
9.
9.
9. And then we carry the
Oh,
1
yeah.
over
Yeah, it's 2, 8, 9, 9.
10, and we keep doing that, right? Borrow. And now
Yes.
we get on the last column
1.
1,
18.
and what would that make it?
18.
18. All right, so we have 2 choices. No one else said the other 2 after it. So one of these, and you can see they're very similar. So let's see what we get. 18 subtract 9 is
8.
9.
9.
9 subtract 0 is
9.
9. Okay, now here's the deciding one. 9 subtract 1,
8.
8. And there we go. So we know which
Yeah,
one's
2, 8,
correct.
9.
And then 4 subtract 2,
2.
2. And so that would be the final answer. 2,899 as the final answer there. Any questions though with the zeros? Does the zeros still throw anybody off? Do we need to do another one? Or does everyone feel pretty comfortable now?
Yeah.
Sergio?
Yeah.
Leonor?
Can we do one more?
One more, okay?
Yeah,
And
I don't remember this at all, so
that's
or at
fine.
least this
That's why
one.
we're here. We're here
Yeah.
to make sure we have it down. All right, let's do with, let me see. So let's say we had, oops, I don't even have the pen on. All right, so let's say I'm gonna up the ante a bit. So let's say we had 105,000 900. Subtract
105,000.
105,900. All right, and we're going to subtract that from, let's say, 96,000. 96,683. All right, so this one has zeros within, and most times we know that that can mess people up, having zeros, multiple zeros rather. So go ahead and try that. If you could do it in your head, well done. You can do that one in your head if you look at it carefully.
9217.
9,217.
Okay, I heard multiple numbers come in. Just say it one more time.
9,217.
You both said it at the same time and unanimously. So that's one answer I have so far.
9,217.
Okay, that's confirmed. Another one.
9,217.
Some heads nodding, and I heard some more affirmations.
9,217.
Okay, that sounds
9,417.
9,417. You said. All right, so 9,417.
9,217.
Okay, another 9,217. And just giving everyone an opportunity to finish that.
9,217.
All right, another 9,217.
9,217.
All right, another confirmation there.
9,217.
Okay.
I got 8,000. 89, I'm sorry, 89,217.
Wait, what?
217.
You said with 8?
89,217.
Right. Okay. All right, so we have another one there, 89,217.
That's huge.
9,417.
Okay, I got another one with 9,417 or 94,017.
9,417.
Okay, so 9,417. All right, so it sounds like we have 3 different answers here, and I think everyone has at least put in an answer. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start this one. Remember, one thing that we are going to try to also implement is the concept of checking your answer. And remember, in the first lesson, what we did, we went over comparing numbers, remember, with inequalities and seeing which number is larger, which number is smaller. So if you look at this number here, because we're in the decimal system, and I didn't really go that deep into the decimals as the GED doesn't really require you to do that. But if you look there, you can use it to kind of help you out. If you were to cover, let's just say you covered this part, and you just had 105 and 96. When you subtract that, should you get a big number or a small number?
Small number.
Small number.
Small number,
Small
right?
number.
The difference between 105 and 96 is not that large. Now, the same thing's going to happen when you go back and add those 3 digits. The difference between these 2 numbers, although they're big, is not that different. That's 105,900,000 and 96,683. So you shouldn't get a big gap, which means if you get a big number in your answer, you want to say, wait a minute, it's too large of an answer. Or if it's too small, that's too small of an answer. So sometimes just putting a $ can help you, right? Let's say I said to you, if you could figure that out, you get both amounts in dollars, right? You would take your time, you would make sure you got that, and I'm pretty sure you'd think of the number more in a real sense. So just keep that in mind when you work out. Always check to see, does your answer match the possibility? Now, with that said, let's go and find the actual answer here. Can we subtract the 0 from the 3?
No.
I mean, sorry, the 3 from the 0. I said that wrong. And you guys knew what I was saying, and you said, no, you can't. So what will you have to do?
You have to go all the way to
Borrow.
Okay, where are we borrowing from?
Tens place.
a 9.
A 9, right?
9.
So we're going to borrow from that 9 to help us out, and that's going to leave us with
8,
8.
10.
And we're going to put a what? 1,
on the 0.
we got 10, but we still can't do our subtraction yet. So we need to do what?
Borrow.
Borrow from that 10, which leaves us with
9.
Thank you.
9, and then we carry over the
1.
1. Now we can start the subtraction process. And in the first column, we're going to have 10 subtract 3. And what would that equal?
7.
7.
That will be 7. Then we have in our second column, 9 subtract 8. And what would that give?
1.
1. So we can see it does end with 17. All three answers have that. How about the third column? We have 8 subtract 6. What would that
2.
be? 2. So which one do you think is possibly right? Anyone that ends with 217 right now. So this one is not right because of that concept right there, the 2. All right, let's keep on going. 5 subtract 6. Can we do that?
No.
No.
No. So we're going to have to borrow from the 0, but can we borrow from 0?
No.
No.
So what would we have to do?
Borrow
One.
from 1.
We have to borrow from that 1, which is going to be 0. And then we carry over to the 0 on the right. That's 10. Now we can go and do what?
Borrow from the 10.
Borrow from the 10, which leaves
9.
9. And then we can carry over to the 5, which gives us what number?
15.
15. Now we can take the 6 and subtract it from the 15. And what would that give us?
9.
9.
9. Now we have one more step here, and this is where some people could get thrown off, is if you say 10 subtract 9 or 9 subtract 9, which one is it?
0.
Well, remember this is canceled, and this 0 part's canceled. You're only left with that 9. And so 9 subtract 9 is
0.
0. Now we don't need to write that 0, so we could just take it out, and that's our final answer. 9,217. Okay, I'm going to put up a worksheet once we're finished this class. It's going to have some of the additions and subtraction and whatnot. And you want to make sure that you practice that. And any questions that you have from that, you could bring on Tuesday. Okay, but before we do that, any questions with this subtraction and the methods that we just went over? Sergio. Just make sure you unmute your mic, Sergio. You got to unmute your mic. I see you talking, but your mic's muted. Let me see if I could do it for you. It's not letting me. Sometimes that happens. You should see on the bottom of your screen. If you, okay, here you
can
go.
hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. On the first 0, it becomes a 10 after you borrow from the 9, right?
Right.
That's why you get 7.
Yeah.
Right. Then in the second.
Oh yeah, 7 right here. Yeah, first column.
Yeah, in the second column, I get confused right there. How it becomes the 9, so you can get the answer 1.
Remember, to get this 10, we have to borrow from the 0, but there's nothing there, so we borrow from the 9, which made it an 8. And then this 0 became 10, but then when we borrow from that, we crossed it out. So that line going through means it's no longer 10, it's now 9.
Oh, okay. That's a rule I didn't know.
Yeah, so you want to cross that one out.
Okay.
So you don't ever skip that 0. You always have to add and then keep going like this, right?
All right. That's
right.
really new.
All right. Yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna put a worksheet there, but yeah, so let me just go over the concept one more time. I'm gonna write it here on the same one. So we have 105,900 subtracted by 96,683. So right here, we can't subtract that. And so we want to borrow, but when we look at this one here, that's a 0. So we can't borrow from that, we need to keep on going. And so we borrow from this 9. That's what you see here. When we borrowed it, it became an 8. And the 1 that we borrowed went to the 10. I mean, to that 0 to become 10. But once we do that, I'm just going to redo it over here. Once we do that, I still need to subtract this. So in order to do that, I need to borrow from my new 10 I just created.
Wait, that's what we just did.
Say that one more time. Somebody ask something? All right, so because I need to get increase that 0 there, I borrow from this new 10, I cross it out, and it's now a 9. and I carry that 1 over. So we did a series of borrowing.
Okay.
And then now that I have that, what I technically have here is a 10, subtract 3. I have a 9, subtract 8. And I have an 8, subtract 6. Those are the new numbers. Now the theory behind it goes back to the place value chart. Remember, we're doing the tens, the hundreds, the thousands, and those things. We're using that concept to help us out with the subtractions.
All right.
All
So
right.
it's kind of if you subtract 83 from 100, that's kind of the same, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like you're thinking that way. You can think of it that way, and we're using that concept, but we're running it in a numerical sense.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So it's like we're literally, it's like we're breaking it up.
Okay.
And
All right.
some of your children, if they're in elementary, they're learning stuff like that. They're learning to break up the numbers. If you go on social media, sometimes you see people making fun of it, but it is theoretically sound. They're trying to make them understand why we do what we do. But we're using the concept of the decimal system to try to separate things so we can subtract them easier, or add them easier, or multiply them easier, depending on what it is.
Okay, got it.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Just let me know as well. Any other questions from anybody else?
No.
Okay, so once again, you should see a worksheet on the Remind. If you're not on Remind, please let me know, and I will share with you the code to join the group. And that's where I put the worksheets on. And if you're not on there, you won't see the worksheet.
Can I get the code for the Remind?
All right, I'm gonna do that real fast. So if you don't have Remind, you can download the app. The app, all you have to do is go on one of the Google stores or Apple store, and you just type in Remind, R-E-M-I-N-D. And once you do that, just download the app, and it's gonna ask you to join a class. And when you see that option, which will be on your phone, it'll look a bit different. It'll look like that, join a class. And once you do that, it's gonna ask you to put in a code. The code that you're gonna put in is right here. I'll zoom in just a bit. Let's erase this. If you don't have a smartphone, you could get to it by going to remind.com, R-E-M-I-N-D.com. And once again, it's gonna ask you to put a code in. If you're already on Remind, but you have not joined the class, just click the Join a Class that I circled below. And when it prompts you to put in a code or password or whatever, you're gonna type in that, Math DOU. Right, and so once I put a worksheet on, you will either see it in your feed, or you can go to this thing here that says Files, and you'll see it in the File section if you can find it. I haven't put it on there yet, so don't look for it. All right, so any other questions about Remind or the stuff that we just did?
We're good.
All right, going once, going twice, going on to multiplication. Yeah, multiplication. So we're going to look at multiplication, and with multiplying, depending on if you have little children, they might be coming home and they're doing it a little bit different than you might have learned. And part of the reason for that, they're trying to get them to understand the process of multiplication. So when they get to problem solving in algebra, they have the conceptual understanding now. But we're going to do it the traditional way. I will make some allusions to the other method. So let's see what you guys remember. I'm trying to think of one. I might just use the one in the book. I'm going to change it up a bit. So let's try 485 times 43. That would be the first one. And then for those who like finish super fast, let's try one with 3 digits on both, like 312 times 218. That's going to take you some time, I think. All right, so go ahead and work that out. Sorry, I need to go over it first because we're reviewing. So let me do the first one. So 485 times 43. Now, in order to multiply, and I could write down the steps if you want them. Actually, they're in the textbook, student book. I'm pretty sure they have steps. Yeah, they have steps in there, so you can always get the steps from there. So to multiply, you're going to start with the ones place in the smaller number. It's always easier to put the smaller number on the bottom. So if they actually multiply two numbers, don't write it this way. If you do, you will run into issues unless you're really savvy. If you write it that way, you're going to get really confused there. So write the smaller number on the bottom, and then once you put the smaller number on the bottom, you're going to multiply the ones place first by everything on the top row. So you're going to say 3 times everything on the top row. Right, so 3 times 5 is 15. Now, just like with addition and whatnot, we're going to carry. So 3 times 5 is 15. And the 1 we're going to carry on top of the 8. Then we're going to say 3 times 8. And when we get that, right, 3 times is 24. And then what do we do with that additional 1 there?
Add one carry, 15.
Right, we're going to add on to it. And what do we get?
25.
25. And I'm going to just keep this circled. 25. And what do we do with the 2? We carry it on the top of the 4. Then we say 3 times 4 is
12.
Right, you're multiplying each digit by the ones place. And the digit in the ones place of the smaller number is 3. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus that additional 2 makes 14. Now what do we do? Anyone remembers?
Add a 0 down under the 5.
Okay, why are we putting a 0 there?
Because the 4 is on the 10th spot. So you have to put a 0 there.
There we go. That's a correct answer.
And I can't believe I remember that from 30 years ago.
You had a great teacher. All right, so because we're now in the tens position, and some of your children are learning to separate the 3 and the 4. So they have 40 times 485 plus 3 times 485, and then they add it up. You're doing the same thing here. It's just written differently. So because you're now multiplying by the tens position, you're going to put a 0 there to represent that you're multiplying by 40. So that 0 is really important. Now, some teachers, they leave it blank. I don't like to say that because it takes away the concept. You're putting a 0 because you're now multiplying by the tens. So the 0 just lets you know you're in the tens place now, and now you start the process with the 4. And you do the same thing. 4 times 5 is
20.
20. Put a 2 there. Sometimes it's easy to cross out the 1 or something so you don't mix it up. I have it in different colors so you can see it better. What was that? 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, 4 times 8 is
34.
32. Plus that 2 that we carried makes 34. The 3 from the 34 we carry to this 4. And now we can do 4 times 4.
16.
16. Plus that 3.
19.
19. And we bring down the 1 because there's nothing else. So that 1 comes down with it. Now what do we do with these two rows here?
Add them up.
We're going to add them up. And so now you see where the remembering how to do addition comes in. So 5 plus 0 is
5.
5. 5 plus the next 0, 5. 4 plus 4.
8.
8. 1 plus 9.
10.
10. And what do we do with the 1?
Carry it over.
Carry it over, and we add those 2 together to get
2.
So our answer is, how do we say that number?
20,855.
All right, 20,855 will be the answer. Okay, so in the second one, it's 3 digits in the smaller number as well. So
16,016.
you already done it.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, let me see if you're right. I'm going to have to quickly work that out real quick. 312 times 218.
Don't use a calculator, Mr. Ray.
I only use it for when people say, when they tell me the answer. And I'm like, oh, let me write down. Since she said the answer already. What was your answer again?
68,016.
Okay.
68016.
All right. Johnny, I didn't see you come in. I think I remember accepting you in.
Yeah. I came like 45 minutes late.
Okay. All right, so that's one answer that we have. Go ahead, everyone, and try to see if you get a similar answer.
Yeah, 68,016.
Okay, same answer there.
I got the same.
I got the same.
All right, Daniel says same.
16.
All right, I see Veronica and Latavia, you both have the same as here in the chat.
Hey. Fresh, okay.
68,016.
All right, this one sounds unanimous. I'm not getting multiple responses here. And I see a few people still writing, it looks like. Just want to give you that opportunity.
Really use the calculator.
68,016, yeah.
Okay, 68,016 from Sergio. All right, so it looks like most of, okay, now let's see people still writing.
58,016.
All right, looks like we won't have to spend too much time on multiplication because that is correct. I'm looking at the time, so I'm just going to go ahead. That is correct, and let's go through it, right? Same thing here. We're going to do each digit, the ones place, then the tens place, then the hundreds. And when you get to the hundreds, you're going to need 2 zeros, and that's the pattern. So if you multiply something that has 10,000, then when you get to that digit, you're going to need that many zeros in that row on those steps. All right, so let's start with the first one. I'll put that one, I got this thing on eraser. Okay, all right, there we go, green. So we're gonna start here with the 8. And remember, you're gonna multiply that digit by everything in the top row. So 8 times 2 is
16.
16, and we carry the 1. 8 times 1 is
8
8.
plus 1, 9.
Plus 1,
That's
9.
9. 8 times 3 is
24.
24. All right, and then we want to move on to the next one. We'd have to do much borrowing on that one, make it stand out. So pink color. Now we take the tens and we're going to multiply every digit. And so since we're doing the tens, what we need to write down below the 2,496?
0.
Put it, start with a 0 there.
Represent that we are in the
Tens.
tens. Right, so now we multiply the 1 in the tens place by everything up top, 312. So 1 times 2 is
2.
2. 1 times 1 is
1.
1.
and 1 times 3 is
3.
3. So we got 3,120. All right, now we go to the last row there, and let's make this like an orangey color. All right, and so which place value is that?
100.
That's in the hundreds. How many zeros does 100 have?
2.
So I need 1, 2 zeros to represent that I'm in the hundreds place. All right, so now I take that 2 and I multiply everything in the top row. So 2 times 2 is
4.
4. 2 times 1 is
2.
2, and 2 times 3 is
6.
6, right? And so now we just add up the columns, and as long as you remember how to do addition, which we've already done, then this shouldn't be a problem. So first column, 6 plus 0 plus 0.
6.
6. 9 plus 2 plus 0.
11.
11.
7 or 11?
11.
11.
Sound like I heard 7. 11, and we're going to carry the 1. 4 plus the 1 plus the 1 plus the 4.
10.
10.
So on there. All right, so we get 10, and we carry the 1. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2.
8.
And bring down the 6. And so we got it, 68,016. Now, normally multiplication is pretty straightforward. So let me just ask you, does anyone need us to do another one, or is that pretty straightforward?
Let's go for division.
I think
Say
it
it
makes
again?
sense. But will we go through these ones again, or is this just like one time and then that's it? You have to remember it.
Well, yeah. I was going to send a worksheet, though, so that you guys could practice. Because in the GED book, it's more application. So it's more like David went to town and purchased a house and stuff like that. But we really want to make sure we just remember the steps for it. But if anyone wants me to do another one, we can, just to make sure everyone's got it. We do one more, or that's it? One more, okay. All right, so let's just do one more here, and I didn't mean to clear that. Undo that. We're going to do it right here on the side so that you can see that for work. Oops. Yeah. All right. Need a number. Let's do 2,315 times.
Which figure is that? I don't see the figures, those figures clear.
Say that again, George.
I mean the figures. It's 2,000.
315
2,315
times 208.
2,315 and then multiplied by
208.
208.
Maybe 16 and 16 is.
Hey, Mr. Ray.
Yes.
Is your screen, the whiteboard on Zoom? Did you zoom it all up?
I believe so, yeah. Does everyone see it?
I can only see the 208 and a part of the prior operation that we were going through.
Is anyone else having that? You can't see the whole thing?
You gotta move your cameras over.
Okay, maybe you got to move something. Do you have anything in front, like the cameras, the videos?
No, not really. It's just the background screen is it's zoomed in a lot.
All right, I'm just gonna. I can't do that. If I do that, I'm gonna lose it.
Hey, I figured it out. I got it. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks.
481, 520.
Okay, somebody. Who's that? Somebody finish it ready. All right, Veronica, I see an answer. And who else said that just now?
William.
Yeah.
William, you said what number?
481,520.
Okay, William, did you have that same number that was written?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and somebody sent me a message in the chat.
520.
Where's my chat?
481,520.
Okay, sound like you said the same thing. George, I think that was you.
Yeah, I have the same answer, 481,520.
All right, and Justine has the same.
I have the same answer too.
Okay.
481,520.
All right, this one sounds unanimous so far.
481,490.
All right, 481,520 is the number I keep getting back.
488, 481, 490.
You said 488, 490?
It's 481, 481,520.
Who said that one?
Me.
Okay, Clemente.
Yeah.
And Sergio, you said something?
No.
Okay.
I'm still thinking.
I got 1520.
Oh, you got 481,520.
Yes.
Okay. Clemente, thank you. And something in the chat. All right, Marisol, you got the same. All right. All right, just for time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and start this one. These are the two answers that were given, the two different answers. A good bit of you were saying 481,520, and I did get one that was 488,490. All right, just got another one from Latavia and Guadalupe. All right, so let's go over this one. I might need the room here, so I'll try to move that. Another one from Johnny, same answer. Okay, how do I move this again? Try to do that. Oh, that's not it. Crazy thing. There we go. All right, let's see if I can fit it in there. Let's start with the 8, of course, and let's circle that green so it stands out. Remember, you're going to take the ones place of the smaller number, multiply everything in the bigger number. So 8 times 5
is
40.
40.
40, carry the 4. 8 times 1 is
8. Plus the 4 is 12.
12, carry the 1. 8 times 3.
24 plus the 1, 25.
25. What was that? 25. 8 times 2.
16.
16 plus 2.
Plus the 2. 18.
18. All right. So then we move on to the next one. And if you did not get that row, that could be where, if you didn't get it right, that could be the row. So just check that to see if you have the same. This is a 5.
0.
All right, we have a 0 there. So what do we do? 0 times all of that number will be
0.
0. So you have a choice. You can leave it blank. You can put a line. I just tell people most times put 0 placeholders so that you can at least line them up. That way you can see each column pretty clear. All right, so that makes us skip to the last one now, the 2. And now that we're in the 2, how many zeros do we need at the bottom?
2.
2, because
0,
we're in
0.
hundreds place. 2 zeros and 100. So now we said 2 times 5 is
10.
and we're going to carry the 1 there. 2 times 1,
2.
which gives
2.
us
Plus
3.
1.
Plus the 1 is 3.
2 times 3 is
6.
6, and 2 times 2 is
4.
4. All right, so we know it ends with a 4. All right, 0 plus 0 plus 0 is
0.
2 plus 0 plus 0 is
2.
2. So we can see which one it's possibly. 5 plus 0 plus 0 is
5.
5. 8 plus 3, basically.
11.
11. Carry the
Carry the
1.
1.
1 and the 1 together. 2 plus 6 gives us
8.
8, and bring down the 4.
4.
481,520. Remember, we learned that at the place value charts. You do have to know how to say those numbers. You will be asked and prompted to say that number, which number represents that. So that's 481,520. Do I use the word and?
No.
No.
No, we usually when we're doing decimal.
But that word and, yes, means a decimal. We're going to get to that in a few sections from now. But do not use the word and. We saw that even in the book. If you use the word and, that one will be wrong. All right, so 481,520. Now that takes us to division. And division may or may not take some time. I really wanted to make sure we had at least a decent amount of time left to start it because division can be tricky. So let's go ahead now. If there are no other questions, we're moving on to division once I find out who Galaxy Note is. Somebody just came in. I just need to get your name. If you have a Galaxy Note, I believe I saw.
Yes, D-Ray. I was having an issue with my computer, so I log in with my phone.
Okay, who is it?
Salvador.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and do division. I'm going to switch the screen here from the whiteboard just because I don't, hold on. Yeah, now I'm about to switch it to PowerPoint, and that's because it's easier to see it this way. Now with division, everybody sees this, right?
Mr. Ray, you hear me?
Yes.
I just have a quick question. On the word and, when you use and, what's the reason you don't have to use it?
Because the word and signifies a decimal point.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, so I know when you're talking to the average person, they're going to say and, but mathematically, statistically, engineering-wise, that word and signifies the decimal point. So even in the GED and any type of test that you might have to take, college entrance exam, etc., the word and is going to indicate the decimal point.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. All right, so this is the information. We kind of talked about this before, but this is important information, and we're going to come back to when we go to fractions. Now, the thing is, with division, it's different ways to write it. We can write it in what we call the short division format. And in short division format right here, the number is written as 8 divided by 2. However, in long division, I meant to change this. Anyway, in long division, I'm going to do it right here. Instead of writing 8 divided by 2, it's flipped into 2 into 8, which and the answer goes to the top. So you have to keep that in mind because you might say in your mind 8 divided by 2, but most people have the problem rewriting it. When you rewrite it, the dividend, the number that you're dividing, goes in the bottom. That's the dividend, the number that you're dividing by. The bigger number normally, whatever you're trying to split up. The divisor is the number you're dividing by. When you're in short division, it's second, right? First, second. But when you write it in long division, it becomes first. So just remember, it's a little swap. That's like the biggest issue that people have. If you're remembering to swap the two when you're writing it out in long division form. Now, some of you may know some shortcuts. There is a shortcut to long division, but when you get to higher level math and you have to use it again, you have to relearn the long way. So it's better just to learn the long way. So when you get to the higher level math of doing long division with algebra, that you don't have to relearn how to do it. So we're going to do the long way. If you know the shortcut, you can do the shortcut for now, but I do implore you to learn how to do it if you know the shorter way. Then there's other ways of doing it. That's fine as well if you already know it and have mastered it. But once again, we don't have the luxury to go through every type of method there is for all the different types of calculations. So we're going to stick to the traditional American way of long division. Okay, so let's start off with some problems. Any questions, though, with identifying the dividend, divisor, or the quotient, or what they represent? The quotient is always the answer.
No.
Right? Thank you, Carlos. And I'm assuming that everyone else knows. Okay, it looks like everybody's fine. All right, let's go ahead and try some. And we're going to switch the screen again. So I don't know if anyone needs this. I'm about to switch it. If you don't want me to, say don't, not yet. All right, I didn't get any rebuttals. All right, let's try some long division. Let's say we have, I guess we could use a number or something. Oh yeah, we're going to do remainders. We didn't talk about remainders. Hold on real fast. That one didn't go into a remainder. Now, sometimes numbers don't go in evenly. Let's say we had 8. Let's say we had, what is happening? Hold on, everybody. Okay, let's say we had 11 divided by 5, right? That's something easy. 11 divided by 5. We have the dividend is 11. The divisor is 5. And then our answer is not going to be a nice 2. It's going to be 2 with a remainder of 1, right? Now, we're going to learn really soon when we get to decimals how to turn the remainder into a decimal. It's not yet, but we're going to learn it soon. And the reason why is because when you're dealing with the decimal numbers, they don't want to see a remainder 1. Then we're going to also learn what that means as a fraction soon as well. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to that screen. So that's what we do if the number does not divide evenly, like 11 divided by 2. And so let's see, a number that divides decently. Let's say we have 814 divided by, I don't know, 9. Right, so most times if it's given to you in short division form, you're going to see, you may not know how to find that number right off your head. And so this is where long division comes. If you can't figure it out right away, like 15 divided by 3, that's 5. A number like this might be a little bit more challenging. And so in a method like this, you're going to have to rewrite it in long division format. And so how would you say that again?
It's 904 remain 4.
Okay, so somebody has already gone and worked that out. And you said how much was it?
It's
904 remain 4.
You said 904?
No, it's 9 remainder 4.
4.
Yeah.
9
remainder 4.
No.
Yeah.
90 remainder 4.
No, it's a 90. 9 remainder 4.
It's 9 remainder 4.
Okay, I heard
904 remainder 4.
90, you guys got to put down a 0.
No. It's 90 remainder 4.
90 remainder 4.
All right, we got different answers here.
I didn't see no 0.
The answer is 9 remainder 4 and remainder 4.
9 remainder 4.
All right, let's go over it then. We've got 3 different answers here, and we want to see what that's right. So let's go ahead and rewrite this in long division format.
Oh, yeah, 90. Sorry.
Okay. You can go. All right, let's go over how to do this. All right, so the first thing you want to do is just try to see if you can divide it into the first digit. And 9 can't go into 8, so you want to try the next 2 digits, which will be 81. So how many times can 9 go into 81?
9.
9 times, right? So we get that 9 there. Hold on real fast. I'm going to erase this 9. All right, so then we get 9 times 9. You want to see if there's a remainder. And 9 times 9 is what?
81.
81.
What happened there? All right, so when we subtract that, we get a 0. And we're going to bring down that 4.
The 4.
All right, so in a situation like this, it's a little bit tricky. I should have chosen one that wasn't as difficult. But technically what you can do is bring down another 0.
0.
So it's 94, remainder 4?
Well, technically, what you said, just to hear you one more time?
94, remainder 4?
Okay, I heard 94, remainder 4. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Well, so technically you could put another 0 by putting a decimal point. I didn't want to do one like this yet. That's what happens when you make them up on the spot. All right, so when you do that, you're gonna have to bring down a 0. And now you can say 9 into 40. And how many times does 9 go into 40?
3.
3.
3 times.
No.
4 times. I'm sorry, 4.
Okay, here, 4. Hold on. This one. Hold on. Sorry. That was my fault.
Oh, this is a continuous.
Hold on. Sorry, my bad. Before I bring down that 4. Okay, how many times does 9 go into 0? Sorry.
4.
0.
0 times.
0.
Forgive me, I skipped a step there. Okay, now we could keep on going and say, now we could bring down the 4. So whenever you get a 0 there, you want to say how many times does the 9 go into the 0? That's how you get that. Now we can bring down the 4. And when we bring down the 4, that is what represents our remainder there.
Yeah.
Right? And so the 4 that comes down now, that's our remainder. And we get remainder 4. So that was a tricky one. I'm glad we did the tricky one first. Whenever you get that concept where the 0 comes, you actually go and divide the 9 into the 0 to get that second 0 up top.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's the tricky one. I shouldn't have gave you a tricky one first, but like I said, I made it up on the spot. That's what happens sometimes. All right, so that one would be 90 remainder 4. That one was tricky. But yes, 90 remainder 4 there, and not 9 remainder 4, which was a bit confusing, and 904 was a bit confusing as well. Let me pick one that's a little bit easier. Let me use a calculator first. Yeah.
When earlier you were adding a 0.0 there.
Yeah, I was going to turn it to a decimal number.
When would we be able to do that?
We're going to do that in lesson. It's a lesson called decimal. We're going to learn that in page 12 in the student book.
Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't want to go there yet. So that's why I said, oops, I was going into the decimal realm and not the remainder realm. So, yeah. So I'm glad that you're intrigued by that. Yeah, but we are going to learn how to divide that into a decimal number in a few lessons. All right, let me find a different number that works. Let me use the number that's in the book. Actually, I have some here to choose from. Because other than that, we're going to run into those crazy ones. And I don't want to give you crazy ones yet. I want you to learn the process. So we're going to look at 5 and 2,668. That looks like it works well. All right, so 5 divided by 2,668. That should work out better. All right, so try that one. 2,668 divided by 5. Yes, that works out much better. So just remember, if you do get those tricky ones and you get that 0 in that last spot, when that happens, 9 and you do whatever number to 0 and the 0 goes on top.
5, 3, remainder 3.
Okay, here 5, 3, remainder 3.
Oh, 553, remainder 3.
53, remainder 3.
5, 3.
3.
Remainder 3.
Okay, what I have on the screen. Okay, so I have one answer so far.
533, remainder 3.
533.
Remainder
533, remainder 3.
Remainder 6.
Remainder
I got
6.
535,
Three.
remainder 3.
533.
533, remainder 3.
535, remainder 3.
535.
No, 533.
536.
533, remainder 3.
Okay, so I hear a lot of these different ones popping up. So we have 535 remainder 3, 533 remainder 6, 533 remainder 3, and 553 remainder 3. Okay, so one of these things are correct. One of them looks like somebody used a calculator.
I didn't use it. I'm using decimals. It's
Oh, okay. If you're using decimals,
yeah,
I'm
maybe
assuming whoever's using the decimals did this one.
it's maybe a different way. Did I do it?
Yeah, if you're using decimals, I see why you got the 6.
Yeah.
So you're doing it turn into a decimal point.
Yeah.
But we are going to learn the remainder 3, and the reason why is for when we get to fractions. That's why we're going over remainder. But if you are using the decimals, this one would be 533.6.
Yeah, I got 533, remainder 3.
Right. So anyone who did the decimals instead of remainder 6, that's 0.6.
And that will be correct on the test?
It just depends what they want. But yes, on the test, that's still considered correct. As long as they want it in decimal form. Sometimes they might ask you to have it in remainder form. If it's in remainder form, that would be wrong. But it's the right answer. But well, this answer, and I guess I'm giving away one of them. I didn't mean to do that yet, but you can kind of make an idea of which one of those other ones are correct.
Yeah, but I'm not,
so we're going to get to that. We're going to learn how to change the remainder into a decimal. But for now, we have to master the decimal part because we're going to come back to that in fractions and mixed numbers. All right, so let's go over the answer. I see in the chat, there's a unanimous decision there. All right, so let's go and write this one up. We have 5 into 2,668. And this one works out easier. You don't have to worry about the tricky 0, but just remember, if you do get that 0, you're gonna have to put the 0 on the top before you continue. All right, so 5 into 2,668. You can do 5 into 2, that's not gonna work. So you can say how many times goes 5 goes into 26. If you're savvy enough, you could go right into all the numbers. But just because it might be new for some, or just a rehearsal, how many times does 5 go into 26?
5.
5 times. Now, what is 5 times 5?
25.
25. And that allows us to see what the first remainder is. And what would the first remainder be?
1.
1. Right? 26 subtract 25 is 1. Is 1. Now what do we do?
Bring down 6.
Bring down the 6.
We're going to bring down that 6 and start the process over again. So how many times does 5 go into 16?
3.
3.
So 3 times, right? 5 times 3 is what, though?
15.
15.
Right? So what we're doing is we multiply these now to see what the remainder would be. Right? 5 times 3 is 15. And what do we do next?
Bring down 1.
Well, we first need to
If you subtract.
Right, okay, yeah, that's what you meant by bring down the 1. But bring down the
8.
8, right? So we bring down that 8. And we get 18. And how many times does 5 go into 18?
3.
3 times. And you can see what the answer is. I kind of gave it up trying to explain the decimal part. But how many times it goes to 8 3 times, and 5 times 3 is
15.
15. Well, I wrote 18. I was saying 18. 15 and 18 subtract 15 is
3.
Remainder 3.
That's the remainder.
Right? And so most times we write the remainder next to it. So that's 533 remainder 3. If you know how to change it to a decimal, it's good, but you do also want to remember the remainder, because we're coming back to that with fractions. I mean, we do a lot of stuff with fractions, and you want to make sure you understand what it is, especially when we're doing operations with mixed numbers. All right, so that's 533 remainder 3. Any questions on there? So this one was the correct one there.
No questions.
No questions. All right. Let's go ahead and we're going to pick another one there. 17 to 1292. So the next one we're going to do is 17. Wow, I hate when that happens. Sorry about that. It kind of, I saw somebody writing, so probably happens because it's late. All right, 17, that's what we're going to do now. 17 into 1292, I believe we're going to do. So if I had 1292 divided by 17, what would that answer be? Remember, first you want to rewrite it correctly in long division format.
I don't know.
You said you don't know?
Yeah, no, this is where I get stuck at. This is it.
Okay.
I don't remember that one also.
Okay, that's fine. We have 17 into 1292. I just set it up. That's how you want to set it up. And remember, to start the process, you want to see how many times can 17 go into the numbers. So you could try 1, then you could try 12, then you could try 129. The others don't work. If you don't know, you could kind of do some guesses. You could work out on the side 17 times what can get you close to 129. Knowing your multiplication tables can really help here. So for instance, 17 times 10 is 170.
76.
Okay, I hear 76 as an answer.
Yes.
Okay, Justine says 76, so we have one answer so far. And
7 times.
okay, all right, so who said that, Maceo?
Yeah.
All right, you're on the roll. Go ahead and finish it.
70 remainder 12.
70 remainder 12, I heard.
Yeah.
Okay, so 70 remainder 12 and 76.
$76.
76.
76.
Another 76.
Yeah, I got 76.
All right, 76 again.
76.
And in the chat, 76 as well.
76.
All right, sounds like
76.
unanimous with 76. We know it starts with 7, as I affirmed that to Maceo. Let me just rewrite that 7. And 76. I'm looking at the time, so we're going to go ahead and start this one. All right, so remember, to start the process, you want to see, can 17 go into each of them? If you're really good with your multiplication tables, it will make it easier. So if you can download a multiplication chart, I might find one and share it with you. That can help you to memorize numbers to make it easy. Since you already have 7 there, you would, on the side, you could sometimes play around with numbers to see what the first one would be. And so we already see it's 7. So 17 times 7 is how much?
119.
119.
Okay, 7 times 7 is 119. 19. Okay, so we're going to subtract that. And so you have to know your subtraction. This one's an easy subtraction. So what would this be?
10. 10.
10, and then bring down the
2.
2. And 17 goes into 102 how many times?
6 times.
6 times, all right, so we already have that down. And 17 times 6 is?
102.
Actually goes evenly, right? So once you get 0, you don't have to write the remainder 0. This would be sufficient, and 76 would be the answer there. All right, it seems like you guys you got the basic gist of it. And so I think for some of you, it's just getting the cobwebs out, right? It's been a while since doing it, but as you go on, you're starting to remember. And that's how the brain works. So the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. And so you want to practice, 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 especially because there's a part of the test where you have to do it without a calculator. And most entrance exams, if you're trying to get a certificate or enter into college, I'm not sure if anyone wants to continue in college or somewhere, they will test you on that. I know some, even like some firemen and services, they give you arithmetic test. So you want to make sure that you can master that without a calculator. All right, let's just do one more. And we'll choose one that I'm looking for one. Let me use my calculator. I want to make sure it's not one that is too difficult. Yeah, this should be good. All right, so we're going to do 7,250. This is in short division format divided by, what just happened? Do you guys still see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I lost it. Hold on. Okay, here it is. All right, 7,250 divided by 16.
I have 453, remainder 2.
453, remainder 2.
Yeah.
You just write that up here. 453, remainder 2.
Yep, same one. Same.
453, remainder 2.
Okay, Justine,
453, remainder 2.
All right, and Miss, who said the last one. All right, so we have 453, remainder 2 from at least 3 people there.
$453, remainder 2.
Okay, same answer, 453, remainder 2. All right, same in the chat. We're getting more unanimous answers.
453, remaining 2.
453, yep. Remainder 2 again. And in the chat, we have 553, remainder 2.
No, it was a typing mistake. It's 453.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I asked. Just to make sure. All right, so another 453, remainder 2. I still see a few people writing, and then we're going to go over it.
453, remainder 2.
All right, another one.
I got 516, remainder of 4.
516, remainder 4, I think I heard.
Yes.
And that's supposed to be a 5 there. All right, so 2 different answers there, two different varying answers. And once we finish this, I'm just going to try to do a few from the book, but we should be able to handle those. And then next week, we're going to go into integers and possibly fractions. Integers might take some time. We're going to go into negative numbers. All right, so at that time, let's go ahead and write this one out. We're going to have 16. Remember, if we rewrite it, do I have room? Yeah, I have some room. 7,250. Okay, so we're going to start in first looking at the first digit. 16 can't go into 7, but it can go into 72. How many times can 16 go into 72?
4.
4 times, right? So everyone had that. You sounded unanimous. On the side, you can work it out. If you know your times tables, it'll make it quicker. 16 times 4 is what?
64.
64.
4. And you're subtracting to see what the initial remainder would be, and what would that be?
8.
8.
Right, and then you bring down the
5.
5, and you start the process over. You're going to see how many times can 16 go into 85, which is the same as saying 85 divided by 16. So just keep that in mind if you're wondering what we're doing there. And I heard the answer 5 times. For those who may be wondering, like, how do you know that? Sometimes you might just have to do some guessing. You could try 16 times 4, 16 times 3, 16 times 6, and work your way there. And so just to show you, like on the side, you might try 16 times 4, but you already know that's 64. You might have tried 16 times 6, and you see that that's going to give you, that's going to give you over, right? So you don't want to do that. And so you can figure out that 5 would be your number. All right, so where are we? Okay, how many times is 16 going to 85 when you multiply it by 5?
80.
80 times. And when you subtract that, you get 5, and you bring down the
0.
0. And how many times is 16 going to 50?
3.
3 times, right? You can see that here. It has to be less than 4 from your initial one. And 16 times 3 is going to give you what?
48.
48.
48.
And if you subtract 48, will give us
3.
tiny 2. So
2, I'm sorry.
remainder 2. So this was the correct answer. This was, can't even, this thing drives you crazy sometimes. Forgive me about that. Sometimes you have some mouse problems. So yes, the first one is the correct. I was trying to circle it, but I ran outside the writing area and then it minimized the whole screen. All right, so 453, remainder 2 would be the correct answer there. It seemed, as like I said, as we went on, everyone's capabilities started to go up, and I just thought, really what's happening, your brain is retrieving information. And so the more you practice, just by saying this, the better we're getting with the answers. And that's a prime example that if you study, you will see great improvements in your performances. So make sure you practice daily. The more you practice, the better you will get. Practice makes progress. All right, so now let's, I don't know if anyone was copying that, but we're going to switch back to the GED book, page, whatever page that is. Page, what page is
book?
it? The student book, sorry.
Page 6.
Student book, right?
Oh, page 5.
Student book, page.
Okay, that's 4. Page 4.
Student book?
Yeah, student book, page 4 and page 5 in the student book. Remember the workbook, that's for you to practice at home. It has more questions, and the more questions you practice, the better you will get at them. For those who are new, the answers are in the back, and we do not mind you looking at the back after you have finished working it out, because if you practice doing a question and then looking in the back just to have a prompt, you will train your brain to always expect to see an answer whenever you encounter a problem. So when you get on the test, your brain is literally trained to react to, oh, what's the answer? And if you do that, you will find yourself getting what we call test anxiety. And that's where some people do poorly. They start to get hot and bothered, and you start to get frantic, right? You don't want that. You want to practice straight through, choose about 10 problems or do all the problems, then check your answer. All right, so these ones should be pretty straightforward. I'm not going to really go into depth with some of them. Some of them I might just ask you what operation it is. Like for number 1, we're not going to work it out. We're just going to say, what operation would you use for number 1? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division?
Subtraction.
And why do we subtract?
She's withdrawing.
Withdrawing money from her bank account. And so you would just subtract that. You could do it real quick if you want, but I wasn't going to really bother that because you guys have shown.
Answer is B.
Okay, I hear the answers popping up. But since we had done so many, I didn't really think we had to do that. But I hear the answer was D or B. Which one did I hear?
B like a boy.
Yeah, B as in boy. If you were to subtract that, I was going to skip it, but well, might as well. Right, if you subtract those answers, you get 916. It's an easy subtraction. You get 6, 5, subtract that is 1. And you could do this all together. 12 subtract 3 will give 9. So 916 would be the answer. All right, that one was pretty straightforward. B as the answer. All right, let's choose one that will challenge you with the time that's left. All right, let's try number 5. It's a little bit different. Number 5, one works 40 hours per week. He earns $9 per hour. How much does one earn in 1 week?
Number 4, you mean? Oh.
Yeah, number 4.
That's
Okay.
540.
Number 4?
Say that again?
540 was 40 hours per week.
360?
It will be 360.
360.
I hear the unanimous answer, 360. How do we get that?
360.
Yeah.
40 times 9.
Multiply 40 times 9.
I'm pretty sure everybody knows how to do that. Because everyone wants to make sure they are paid right when that check comes, right? 40 times 9. All right, so let's go with
360.
we get to the, oh, sorry, we got to do factors when we come back on Tuesday first. I almost forgot about that. We're going to skip number 7 for now, but we're coming back to that on Tuesday. All right, now let's just do this one over here. And you can see now that you could really breeze through these questions.
What about number 10?
We're going to come back to that too. Number 10 and number 7, we haven't got to that yet.
Okay.
Number 10 and number 7 is what we call
11.
factors. This part here. And that's going to take some time to go over, so we'll do that on Tuesday. And that's going to be used to help us out with fractions when we get there. All right, let's try number 9. The quarterback on Scott's favorite football team is closing in on a 4,000-yard passing season. He has thrown 3,518 yards with 2 games remaining. How many yards would the quarterback need to average during the final 2 games to reach his goal of 4,000 yards?
241.
250.
241.
Yeah, I heard 250. I heard a rounded amount. 250. Any other answers?
482.
42?
Yeah.
482.
Oh, 482. All right, I hear 482. And what up? I want to ask that again. Any other answers?
241.
Say that again.
241.
241. So we have 3 different answers. Say that again. 482.
482.
Okay, another 482. Anything else?
482.
482. I heard a lot of 482s.
482 too.
All right, 482. And since I'm getting that, does anyone want to explain why are they getting 482?
Yeah,
Does
you
that
subtract.
both good?
241.
241. I got 241.
241.
241.
Amount.
It's split for 2 games remaining.
All right, so there's one little thing in here that we didn't cover. Well, it's not in the textbook either, but it looks like one of you guys know what that means, and that's the word average. Does anyone know what the average is? Okay, just to help you out, average means that if you have, you take whatever you have and you divide by the amount of things that are there. So if I want the average score of something, let's say I got 16 on a test and somebody else got 18 and someone got 20. To find the average, I take those 3, add them up, and divide by the amount. And there's 3 of us. We divide the total by 3. So that might help with the final conclusion. That's what the word average means.
So in this case, it'd be for the 2 games, right?
Right.
2 games.
241.
241.
Okay, I hear 241.
Yeah, so it'd be 241.
Okay, so the reason why I said that, these
divided in between the 2 days,
are
right?
very
I
closely
think it was
connected.
482.
All right, so these 2, and so I just heard 482 again. These 2 answers are connected, and the reason why we're getting different answers is just based off of that terminology. And sadly, they don't introduce it in the book until Unit 2. So we just have to make sure we define that term. So don't feel too bad. The word average, I don't even know why they put this in this section because they don't have it in any of the definitions. But the word average means to divide by the amount of items that are there. And the amount of items that are left is 2 games.
2 games.
So once you get your answer, you're going to have to divide it by 2. So this is a 2-step question, and a lot of GED questions are 2-step questions. And you see that as we go on. Right now, there's not too many 2-step because we're just starting. But by the time we get onto like lesson 5, you're going to see that it's multiple steps in questions. You might have to subtract, then multiply. You might have to divide and then add and stuff like that. So let's go over just the concept real quick. Most of you know what you're doing because you subtract, you got 481 first. 482. 482 is the first part of the answer. And the second part of the answer is the 241. So the first part, you subtract these two, 3,518. You get 482 yards. So he has 482 yards that he wants to get in or between two games. So he's going to have to divide that by 2 to have an idea of what he has per game.
I got it.
All right, so 482, you have to divide that, and that one's pretty easy. You could divide, because it's an even number, you could divide each digit by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, 8 divided by 2 is 4, 4 divided by 2 is 2, and so you get 241 as the final answer.
What was the definition of average?
Average just means to add up the numbers and divide by the amount of terms that are there. And so in this case, we added up, our numbers were already added, 482. It was already summed up. So it's just the total number divided by the amount of items. So remember, the word total means to add, but your total was already here. You did not need to add it up. The total amount of yards he had was 482, divided by the amount of games or the items, which was 2. So 482 divided by 2 is 241. So the total amount divided by the amount of items, or the number of items. That's possibly the better way to say it. So let me write that down, just in case. So you can put the total divided by, crazy computer, total divided by the number, and not hashtag, I'm old school, so number of items. So I'm using that as a number sign, not hashtag. So number of items. So take the total, divide it by the number of items. So if he had 5 games left, what would you have done?
Divided it by 5.
Would have divided a 482 by 5. Right? If he had 3 games left, 482 divided by 3. And that's the word average. You'll see that pop up again in Unit 2 when we get to statistics. All right, so that's where we're going to end. When we come in on Tuesday, we're going to go ahead and go over factors and multiples. So multiples and factors, and then after that, we're going to go into integers, and that might take the whole week, possibly. We'll see how we go. But normally integers can be a little bit tricky, and factors can sometimes be a little bit tricky. But you can read up ahead. Like I said, I will hand out some put some worksheets on Remind so that you can practice in between now. You can try also what you want to work on between now and next week is in your workbook. You want to go onto lesson 3, and your lesson 3 is on page, not lesson 3, sorry, lesson 2. Lesson 2 starts on page 6 in your workbook. The workbook. Remember, the workbook in the cover is the green writing, and this one you'll see different styles of questions. They're going to be a little bit more challenging. If you have any challenges in the beginning of class, we can go over any of those items. So go ahead and practice that and be ready for any questions on Tuesday.
You said workbook lesson 2, page 6?
Yeah, page 6 to, I think it's page 8, is it? Page 7. So page, no, sorry, page 2 to page 9.
Lesson 2.
Page 2.
6 to 9, right?
Wait, hold on. Page 6 through 9.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, page 6 through 9 in the workbook.
Oh.
Green one.
Got it.
All right. And remember, any questions you have, be ready to ask them. You can also ask me on Remind, just send a message. Okay, if there's no other questions, you guys are officially dismissed. Enjoy your weekend as it comes. Enjoy your families. Stay safe.
What was it again, Mr. Ray? Lesson 2 what?
Lesson 2 is called Operations. It's in the workbook.
Yeah, in the workbook.
6 through 9.
Listen to
From page 6 to 9.
Yeah,
Okay.
page 6 through 9, you see is multiple questions there. Some of them might seem a little bit challenging.
Okay, lesson 2, page 6 through 9. Got it.
Bring that on Tuesday.
Okay.
Make sure it's the workbook, the green one.
Yeah. Lesson 2,
Mr.
page
Ray.
6.
Yes, Jacob.
Are we expecting a worksheet for this session?
The worksheet on there. The worksheet one's just more like supplemental work. So if you feel you've mastered the basics, you don't really need to worry about the worksheet.
It all helps. I already went all the way over to lesson 4 because I've had the books for a little bit over a month.
I like
and
that.
I got so stuck with fractions and all of that. So all this is helping me because
Yes.
you're going in much more detail of certain different words that I'm not used to. So it's just helping me out. But I got really stuck with fractions and integers and all that.
Yeah, well, once we go over factors and multiples, we didn't get to do it today, but once we do that, it's going to really help you with the fractions.
People should stop now. It's when you are learning, I didn't disturb you.
Okay, so for the worksheets, you'll make them available for us. We answer them, and then we'll go over the answers. We'll go over them again in class.
Normally,
or just for practice.
Yeah, it's for practice. Normally, I send them with
Okay.
the answer, so you can work your way to the answer. And if you have questions in the beginning of class, that's when we go over any of the homework.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. So if you have any issues with it, even though I just put the answers, not the working. So all you will see is an answer. So if you don't get it, and you can't get to it, just circle that one and bring it for class.
Awesome.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So you guys
Good
are
night,
doing well.
everyone.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Mr. Ray.
Sky's the limit. All right.
See you guys.
Okay, thanks a lot. Good night, guys.
Have a blessed weekend, all.
Thank you. Good night.
You as well, Jacob. All right. See you guys. Maceo, Leonor, Justine. See you guys. All right, George. Maceo. All right, Johnny.